is if you book on your own, you're on your own.
Right.
So I really
true.
try, but that's a great asset that you guys can sell is, there's some onboard credits that can automatically come and they would never get those on their own if they didn't go through you guys. The other thing to try and, another just a little quick thing to remember is if we book the air, we guarantee that your customer will get to their destination, irrelevant if they are buying the travel's insurance. With the big winter most of us survived in, there was a lot of cancellations, there was a lot of delays, and that can happen in the summer too when some big thunderstorms roll through the Midwest and everything falls apart, for 2 days getting flights put back together. If your customer misses it's sailing out of wherever it's sailing out of and they miss it, it's up to the airline that we contract to get your customer to their first port or wherever we can get them to as fast as possible. But I think that that's a huge selling point, and it's another reason to use a travel agent, because you can't go use your frequent flyer points and book on Delta or irrelevant to frequent flyer points. If you go book on your own, you're on your own.
Right. Do they have to have so when they package the cruise with the air with NCL, do they have to have insurance to have that come into play?
No.
Or that's
No.
what
Now, if there's any other reason, I mean, if you get sick or you miss a flight yourself, I'm talking about if the airline has a cancellation or a delay, it's got to be an airline issue, and we booked it. It's us that have to get you there.
Even weather.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Most important of all.
All right, so now it's time to head. Oh, do you have a question?
I have a question for Cindy.
She's got one.
So, thinking about selling smarter, etc. Is there, and you're talking about your cheat sheets, and maybe there's something and I haven't seen it yet. Is there a cheat sheet? Let's say, what's the cost of doing laser tag? What's the cost of doing before we get the client booked and go in and then they start looking at it? That we can help them say, oh, you can afford.
Here's the value of doing
Right,
this.
and then they can figure out, oh, I can afford this stateroom if I want to do all of these activities while I'm on board.
We don't have anything like that, but you bring up a pretty interesting suggestion. So I could probably work on putting something together like that. But I like that idea because I get asked that a lot.
Yeah, and
so that would probably be a good little thing for me to put together for you guys.
Yeah,
so
that would be awesome.
that's a wonderful suggestion.
Awesome.
I would agree.
Yeah.
That's hard information to
Yeah.
find. You're
Right.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna say it only in these walls, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens on the NCL Haven Suite that's run by Bonnie and Walt stays in the Bonnie and Walt cabin. But we do have a help link on Norwegian Central. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think it's the most user-friendly help link. I myself get stumped on it. It's very persnickety. So I will work on putting something together for you guys. I don't know how fast I'm going to get it because I have a horrendous travel schedule, but I will work on it. And I really appreciate you saying that because that's a great idea.
Because you've got families that want to do the ships that have all the activities, but if they can't afford the activities, maybe they book this. I can do this suite. But then they've used up their budget and they don't have any money left.
So maybe to help her along, what if we actually did create like a Google Doc and we shared
That's
it?
a great idea.
And then because I know how much the what is that? Where you do all the virtual reality.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I mean, I know how much. At least I know on this ship. So another ship is going to be.
It's the same. It's universal.
So we will take on the task of just creating.
I think
like
that's a
Google
great
Doc.
idea.
And we'll share it with you as well, Cinda. So if anybody does know of, so if you know of something to add, you can add it. If you know of the price of something, you can also add it. So
That's a great idea.
then we can all, as a whole, go in and tap into it.
Yeah.
That's a really because.
Leave it to the education group over here.
And Monty suggested a spreadsheet, so we.
Oh yeah, well the spreadsheets. Yeah, let's not do it on a spreadsheet though.
A Word doc.
Yeah, Word docs
I
are
think on
fun.
all of the cruise lines, like to see what the excursions cost. I mean, if you're not booked already, to go in, like you can't find it to see the pricing. I agree. I go to alternative sites for excursions a lot of times to try to give people a really good idea of their dollar amounts before they make a decision, because on the cruise lines it's hard to find out what the excursions are going to be or how much they're going to cost.
I love researching, but you run out of time. To
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah,
so-
she's right. I mean,
Yeah, I love
it
doing
takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Well, then a lot of times I don't know what's available, so even if all I
Exactly.
have is a list that tells me what's available,
Then
then I
know.
can at least sound halfway developed.
Right, exactly.
If I'm
Those are
talking
hard
to
to
somebody,
Good idea.
I don't need everything,
Yeah.
so
The
we'll
class
take
of ship,
we'll
and
take
then
that
what's available
home
in the cost.
and we'll
Yeah,
create it
that
and
would
we'll
be
share it out.
Okay.
I will
Yeah.
do that, and then as people find, and I'll start to add things. But really, if you guys can come in and add the things you want to know or the things you want to know and you want to share, I would love that.
I think that's even a good idea to send out to people. If you can, snip it and send out if people are on the Epic, here's the things that cost
Right.
extra
Right.
and here's the amount.
Right.
So they have some idea. I have a family going to the Mediterranean on the Epic, so what are the extra things they're going to want to do that are included? So I think we all,
It would benefit all of us.
I mean, they kind of would want to have an idea of what their shipboard
And yes, they,
account will be after
Right.
Well,
Saturday
and
night.
the beauty of it is, at least they won't get a $1,200 liquor bill.
Yeah.
That's the worst of all. It's like, holy moly, Rocky.
Right.
How
So-
many mojitos did you have?
Well, let me tell you.
I really wouldn't
So-
want to see the bill after this trip. And this is only 3 nights. So.
right.
So I have one thing to say. There's a lot of really, really smart people in this room with a lot of degrees, which is just amazing because neither Bonnie and I have a degree. And I'm listening to all these stories and I'm thinking, we got educators, we've got teachers, and I'm in awe. That you guys would even, come on with Travel Quest. But on the other side of that, and I don't know how many of you know that Host Agency Review, Stephanie is our daughter. So, and which has nothing to do with anything because she cut ties with us when she started it. We didn't talk to her for like 9 months. I mean, she literally just, we thought she was mad.
We did not know what she was doing, but she felt that's how separate the two entities are. We never talk business when we get together, but when she left Travel Quest, she said, I'll talk to you soon.
9 months, a year later.
Okay.
I'm like, holy crap. And then all of a sudden, one day, months and months and months and months later, a friend of mine goes, I just love what Steph's doing. And I'm like,
What is she doing?
Do tell.
Yeah.
What do you love about it?
and she had just like launched her beta. And so I got her site and I was like, holy crap. Yes.
She's very good at
Yeah.
being, doing a great job there. I did not know she was y'all's daughter until
Yeah.
I was at TQ World last year.
Oh, yes.
And then I was like, I'm so stupid.
Yeah. Well, she still doesn't. She doesn't say much about it.
I mean, for us to actually have her come was incredible because she hasn't been well for a couple of years, and so to actually have her be well enough to come and to be there, and she said it's just so great to be in this element because she loves. Well, obviously there's a lot of men in travel, but there's a lot more women in travel as
Yeah.
independent agents, and she's like, I love this. I love this environment. I'm so
Yeah.
happy to be here. Yeah, so we had nothing to do with host agency reviews, and even I will always say this out loud. Jackie from Nexion, she goes, Stephanie's site is really, really good, and I go, oh yeah, it is. She goes, it's kind of expensive, and I go, because we all advertise on it, and I go, well, yes, it is, but there is no family plan.
I thought I taught her better than that, but evidently not.
Jackie, you and I need to understand this. Just as you are funding her retirement, so are Walter. We never cross the line. We just, when you get together, your family, and you do your things. If she wants advice, she calls me, and I might, I'll talk to her about it. Or if I need something, but we don't ever cross that funky line. So,
And it's gone full circle because now it says, "Oh, you're Stephanie's mom and dad."
yeah.
Yeah. It used to be the other way now.
Stephanie is my daughter.
Yeah.
I think it's that generational thing too.
Yeah.
A little bit of
Well,
that.
when we were in Jordan, we interviewed the guy from the Active Travel and Trade
That's Shannon.
Association, Shannon, which is when you do the Active and Adventure classes through Travel Leaders, they partner up with this. So I went up and I talked to him and all that, and I said, hey, can I interview you tonight? So we did an interview. So I walked up to him that night, and he goes, don't I feel stupid now I know who you are. He goes, you're Stephanie's mom and dad. I have known Stephanie for a long time. And Walt and I are like, yes, she is awesome. Yeah. So my glass is empty, but I'm going to say cheers to Norwegian.
Cheers to Norwegian.
Cheers.
Cheers to all of you guys for taking time.